For decades, we believed there was a simple formula for success: work hard, stay loyal, build a career. But while we were busy following the rules quietly changed. Somewhere right now, someone is staring at a layoff notice. Someone else just watched an AI tool do in 10 minutes what used to take their team a week. And somewhere else, someone just quit a job they hated to finally build the thing they always talked about. These aren't three different stories. They're the same story. We are living through one of the biggest shifts in how people work, build, and earn, and most of us are figuring it out in real time with no instruction manual. I'm not here to tell you that's scary. I'm here to tell you it's the best news you've gotten in a while. Here's the problem most people run into. They sense something is changing: their industry, their role, the tools everyone around them is suddenly using, but they don't know what to actually do about it. So they freeze, they wait, they tell themselves, I'll figure it out later, or I'm too old to start over, or I'm not technical enough for any of this. And that hesitation is understandable. Change without a plan feels like falling, not flying. But here's what's actually true. The people figuring this out aren't smarter than you, and they aren't starting from some advantage you don't have. They just started before they felt ready. That's really the only difference. I'll tell you my version of this, because it's not hypothetical for me. I spent over 20 years in the Army, and when I retired, nobody hands you a new identity on the way out. You just wake up one day and the structure, the rank, the mission, the who you are that's been built for 2 decades is gone. I had to figure out from scratch who I was outside a uniform. That's its own kind of reinvention, and it's not the comfortable kind. I didn't have a roadmap for that. I built one as I went, through consulting, through starting businesses, through a lot of trial and error nobody saw. I'm not telling you that story because it's unique. I'm telling you because it's becoming the normal story of this decade, for veterans, for people whose industries shrank overnight. The tools got more accessible at exactly the moment the old paths got less reliable. That's not a coincidence worth fearing. It's a door worth walking through. So why is this happening now? 2 things are colliding. First, the structure of work itself is changing. Fewer guaranteed 30-year careers, more project-based work, consulting, side businesses, one-person companies. That's not a prediction. It's already the shape of a huge and growing share of the workforce. Second, the tools to act on a new direction have never been this accessible. You don't need a computer science degree to build software anymore. You don't need a marketing department to reach an audience. You don't need permission from a gatekeeper to start. AI didn't create this shift, but it massively lowered the cost of acting on it. Put those 2 together and you get something simple. The old advice to pick one career and stay in your lane doesn't match the world anymore. The new skill is learning how to keep building, period. So what do you actually do with that? You don't need a 5-year plan. You need one next step. Start by asking yourself one honest question. What's one thing, a skill, an idea, a small experiment that you've been putting off because it felt too early, too risky, or too uncertain? Not the whole leap, just the first step of it. Then give yourself permission to be a beginner at it. Not an expert, not perfect. A beginner on purpose. Because beginners are the only people who ever become anything else. That might mean learning to use one new AI tool well enough to be dangerous. It might mean writing down the business idea you've been carrying around for 2 years. Here's your one action for today. Write down one thing you've been putting off building, learning, or starting, and put a date next to it. Not a perfect plan, just a date. That single act, naming it and giving it a deadline, is the difference between people who eventually build what's next and people who are still waiting 5 years from now. In the next episode, we'll explore why the most valuable career insurance today isn't another degree. It's learning one new skill, and it might not be the one you expect. The future doesn't belong to the people who know everything. It belongs to the people willing to keep learning, keep building, and keep asking one simple question. What will I build next?